My beloved soul, imagine that every challenge is actually a hidden opportunity. I see you, standing before your obstacle. It may take the form of a mountain of debt, a desert in a relationship, a wall in your health, or a giant of fear that mocks your future. You have been looking at it for so long that its shadow has begun to define your landscape. It seems so big, so solid, so permanent, and your strength, I know, has been diminishing. Your hope at times wavers, and in your quietest moments you ask me, Father, why this obstacle? And how can I overcome it? Today I have not come just to answer that question. I have come to give you the keys, the divine strategies, the battle plan for your victory. What I am about to reveal to you can transform your life, because you will discover that your obstacle was not sent to destroy you, but so that by overcoming it, you would discover a power and an authority you didn't know you possessed. Your difficulty is not a sign of my absence. It is the stage I have prepared for my most spectacular demonstration of power in your life. You are not about to learn a theory about faith. You are about to enter into practical training, where your faith will become your weapon and your victory your testimony. Your obstacle is not your end of the line. It is your turning point. Your greatest difficulty is about to become the gateway to your greatest glory. Before continuing the message, write this word of faith in the comments. My faith strengthens me at every moment. By doing this, you are picking up your first weapon. You are declaring that your strength comes not from your own reserves, but from your connection with me. Now, continuing the message, I invite you to stop looking at the mountain and to turn to me, your commander. Your victory does not begin with your strength, but with your attention. And today, I have your attention. My precious soul, have you ever noticed that the size of a shadow depends on where the light is positioned? Your obstacle seems so large because you have been positioning yourself between it and the sunlight, causing your own shadow to be cast upon the problem, making it even bigger in your mind. The first and most crucial strategy to overcome any obstacle is a change of perspective. You need to step out of the problem's shadow and position yourself in my light. You have been focusing 99% of your energy on the size of your obstacle and 1% on my power. Today, we are going to reverse that ratio. Your victory begins when your God becomes bigger in your mind than your giant. Remember David. All the soldiers of Israel looked at Goliath and saw an undefeatable giant. They compared themselves to the giant and felt like grasshoppers. But David looked at Goliath and compared him to me. And next to me, the giant became the grasshopper. David didn't deny the giant's existence, he just changed his point of reference. This is your first task. Start to relabel your obstacle. Instead of calling it my insurmountable problem, start calling it my opportunity for God's glory. Instead of saying I am sick, start saying my body is the stage for God's healing. This change in language begins to change your brain chemistry and your spiritual atmosphere. Now, before we continue this message, write in the comments, I trust in the Lord. By doing this, you are deliberately shifting your focus from the problem to the problem solver. It is your declaration that my perspective is your new reality. It is your act of moving into my light. If this message has touched your heart and you wish to support this mission, click Super Thanks and help spread words of light, encouragement, and inspiration to many lives. Continuing, I invite you to practice having an eagle's vision. An eagle flies so high that the great trees and rocks, which seem enormous from the ground, become small and insignificant. Worship is what makes you fly high. When you worship me, you rise above your problem. And from up there, with my perspective, you will see your giant for its true size, small and defeatable before the power of your God. My blessed soul, your words are the rudder of your ship. They have the power to steer your life toward the harbor of victory or onto the rocks of failure. Your change in perspective must be accompanied by a change in vocabulary. The second weapon I am giving you today is your mouth. You have been using your mouth to describe the size of your obstacle. You talk about it with friends, with family, and every time you describe it, you feed it, you strengthen it in your own mind and in the spiritual world. You have been your problem's biggest publicist. Starting today, that changes. I am commissioning you as the prophet of your own victory. Your job is no longer to describe the mountain, but to speak to the mountain. Faith does not deny the problem's existence, but it refuses to give it the final word. Your mouth was created to be a channel of my authority on earth. When you align your words with my promises, you are not just being positive, you are releasing creative power. I created the universe with my word, and you, made in my image, have the power, delegated by me to create your future with your words of faith. I, your God, am sending you a special sign. The sign you have been waiting for is in this verse, Mark 11:23, which says, "Truly I tell you, if anyone says to this mountain, 'Go, throw yourself into the sea,' and does not doubt in their heart, but believes that what they say will happen, it will be done for them." This is not a metaphor. It is an instruction manual. Your faith needs a voice. Write in the comments, "I receive this message and I am blessed," and send love and protection to the person you love, declaring that their words also have the power to move mountains. If this message has touched your heart, show your support with a super thanks and help spread this message of light. Before continuing, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, do it now. By subscribing, you will keep your mind and your mouth full of the ammunition of faith. Now, continuing the message, start declaring your victory. Find my promises in the Bible that apply to your situation and begin to proclaim them out loud over your life, over your health, over your finances, over your family. Make this a daily habit. Your words of faith are the trumpets of Joshua before the walls of Jericho. They may seem foolish to the world, but in the realm of the Spirit, they are shaking the foundations of your obstacle. My beloved soul, imagine you are trying to climb a mountain while carrying a backpack full of rocks. It would be an almost impossible task, no matter how strong you are. Often the biggest obstacle you face is not the mountain in front of you, but the weight you carry on your back. And the most unnecessary and paralyzing weight you can carry is unforgiveness. Unforgiveness toward those who have hurt you is a heavy stone of resentment. Every time you replay the offense in your mind, you add more weight to your backpack. This bitterness drains your spiritual energy, your joy, and your strength, which are precisely the resources you need to climb your mountain. Forgiving is not a favor you do for your offender. It is a war strategy for yourself. It is the act of emptying your backpack so you can walk lightly. It is you saying, "I refuse to allow someone else's mistake to sabotage my victory. I hand this rock over to God and I move forward." The other stone, perhaps the heaviest of all, is that of self-condemnation, the guilt for your own mistakes, the shame for your failures. You whip yourself with the past, and the enemy uses this guilt to tell you that you don't deserve victory, that your obstacle is a punishment. This is a lie. My grace is an ocean that has already washed away all your stones of guilt. Insisting on carrying them is like choosing to carry a heavy burden when a strong servant is by your side, ready to take it for you. Write in the comments a list of people, including yourself, whom you would like to forgive. Visualize each one, send them love, and say, "I forgive you and I release you, may peace be with you." Feel the lightness and freedom that forgiveness brings. Repeat this practice every day to strengthen your inner peace and release anxiety. This act of forgiveness is your inner disarmament. It is you removing the internal obstacles so you can have your full strength to deal with the external obstacle. A light heart is an agile heart, and an agile heart is a heart that can climb any mountain. Do not underestimate the power of this strategy. Your freedom from bitterness may be the very key that unlocks your victory over your obstacle. My precious soul, faith is not a passive feeling. It is a verb of motion. Once your perspective is aligned, your words are in agreement, and your heart is light, faith requires a corresponding step. Your victory will not come while you are sitting, passively waiting. It will come while you are walking in obedience. I am not asking you to leap over your mountain in a single bound. That would be overwhelming. What I always ask for is the next small step of faith. Remember Moses at the Red Sea. My instruction was not, "Part the sea," but "Stretch out your staff." Remember Joshua at the overflowing Jordan River. My instruction was not, "Stop the river," but "Tell the priests to take the first step into the water." Remember Peter, who walked on water. His miracle began with a single step out of the boat. Your victory over your great obstacle is hidden in your obedience to my next small command, and this command will often seem illogical. It might be the nudge to make a phone call you dread. It might be the instruction to sow a small financial seed, even when you feel you are in lack. It might be the call to forgive the person who seems unforgivable. Do not question. Do not rationalize. Just obey. Your small step of obedience is like the finger that pushes the button, detonating the charge of dynamite I have already placed at the base of your mountain. The power is not in your step. It is in your obedience, which releases my power. Fear will try to paralyze you. It will tell you that your step is too small to make a difference. But your faith is not in the size of your step, but in the size of the God who commanded it. What is your next step? Be still and ask me. I will be faithful to show you. It may be an action, a word, a change of attitude. Whatever it is, do not delay it. Your victory is waiting on the other side of your obedience to this next small step. My blessed soul, you have been asking, why me, Lord? Why this huge obstacle in my life? I want you to understand the noble purpose behind your battle. I did not allow this giant in your path to punish you, but to promote you. Your victory over this obstacle is not just for your relief, it is for your coronation. This obstacle is your opportunity to graduate to a new level of spiritual authority and maturity. Every obstacle you overcome with me, you conquer new territory. You do not go back to who you were before. You become the master of that mountain. You become an expert in that area. If you conquer the mountain of debt, you will become a wise steward of abundance. If you conquer the giant of sickness, you will become a bearer of healing and hope for the sick. If you conquer the desert of a relationship, you will become an oasis of love and reconciliation. Your pain is being transformed into your power. Your battle is becoming your authority. What the enemy intended to use as your greatest defeat, I am transforming into your greatest platform for ministry. Share this video with 2 dear people who need this message of hope and faith. Let's build a chain of love and mutual support together. Leave a comment with a prayer of faith and hope. A simple, Lord, may my victory over this obstacle glorify your name and set others free, aligns your battle with my eternal purpose. Besides forging your character, your public victory will be a resounding testimony to the world around you. Your story of, "It was impossible, but God did it," will ignite faith in the hearts of the skeptical and the discouraged. Your life will become living proof that I am a mountain-moving God. Therefore, do not despise your obstacle. Honor it. It is your training partner. It is the Goliath that will transform you from a simple shepherd into the King of Israel. It is your passport to a new level of glory, purpose, and intimacy with me, my precious soul. And what do you do when you have already changed your perspective, aligned your words, cleansed your heart, and taken your steps of obedience, but the mountain is still there? This is where the final and most powerful weapon comes into play: rest and praise. This is the most counterintuitive strategy, and that is why it is so effective. When you have done everything you know to do, the time comes to stop doing and start being. Being a worshiper, being one who rests. Resting is not giving up. Resting is your most radical act of faith. It is you saying, "Father, I have done my part. Now I get out of the way and trust that you will do yours." The battle is no longer mine, it is yours. This confident rest is what releases my hand to work in ways your striving never could. While you are striving, I am waiting. When you rest, I begin to work. And your rest is accompanied by praise. Praise is your celebration of the victory before it even manifests. It is you singing on the mountaintop, even when your feet are still in the valley. It is you giving thanks for the rain, even under a cloudless sky. Remember Jehoshaphat, who, facing a massive enemy army, put the singers at the front of the battle. It makes no military sense, but it makes perfect spiritual sense. Praise confuses the enemy. He doesn't know how to handle a heart that worships in the midst of adversity. Praise changes the atmosphere. It brings the presence of heaven to your earthly situation. And where my presence is, mountains melt like wax. When you don't know what else to do, worship. When you feel too weak to take another step, lift your hands in praise. Your praise is your heavy artillery, your spiritual atomic bomb. It is your final declaration that your trust is not in your strategies, but in your God. And a God who is honored in this way will never, ever disappoint his worshiper. My beloved soul, we have come to the end of our battle plan and to the threshold of your victory. Your obstacle, which seemed so invincible, has now been exposed as the stage for your promotion. Together, we have realigned your perspective, activated the power of your voice, cleansed your heart with forgiveness, and understood the importance of the small step of obedience. You have embraced the purpose of your battle and learned to use the supreme weapons of rest and praise. Now your mountain is already trembling at its foundations. Its walls already have cracks. Your victory is no longer a matter of if, but of when. On my part, I give you my word. I will complete the work. I have not brought you this far to abandon you. Your victory will be complete, it will be glorious, and it will be a testimony for many generations. Your part, my daughter, my warrior, is simply to remain in this place of active faith. It is to continue using the weapons I have given you. It is to refuse to take your eyes off me and put them back on the mountain. It is to prepare to plant your victory flag on the summit. Leave this time with me no longer feeling intimidated by your obstacle, but feeling equipped for it. You are not a victim waiting for a rescue. You are an elite soldier in the army of the Most High God, fully armed, with an infallible strategy, and with a commander who has never lost a battle. Your story will not be about how big your giant was, but about how much bigger your God was. Go now. Your mountain awaits you, not to crush you, but to be conquered. If this message resonated with you and your situation, write in the comments, "My faith moves mountains because my God is bigger." Share your experiences in the comments about an obstacle you are handing over to God today. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel for more faith-based content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.